Nice full HD screen. You're probably thinking it's going to consume a lot of battery. We've talked already about the battery size. I'm just turning that split screen off. The other thing we've done is employ what we think is intelligent technology to help you as a consumer manage your battery consumption. So this is an Android device, and as you guys know, anybody can build an application on the Android platform, and they're not always very efficient, shall we say, at consuming power. And they can still consume power when the screen is off. So the classic example is you go to bed at night, you leave your smartphone on the table, you wake up in the morning and the battery's run down. Why did that happen? I haven't done anything. Why is there no battery there? It's because the applications, as you know, are running in the background and consuming energy. So our solution is basically to shut those back applications running down in the background when the screen is off.
Okay.
So when the screen's off, we turn off everything in the background. And that's what we call battery stamina mode. So I'm here in the settings. I'm just going to go into power management. Yeah, my phone, so you get my text messages at the top. That's interesting. My wife will be pleased that she's now appearing on here. So this is battery stamina mode. So let me just turn that off for a moment. What battery stamina mode does is disable all the applications and data traffic when the screen is off. You still have telephony, but it disables everything in the background. So as you can see there, the standby time of this device is currently estimated at 1 day, 16 hours. I switch this over to turn on stamina mode, and my standby time goes up to 4 days and 23 hours because it's going to shut everything off in the background.
Okay.
Now, what you might say, and what I said is, but what if I don't want to shut everything off? What if I want to have some, say, notifications from somewhere? So the solution is you can choose which applications to continue to run. So at the moment, everything's switched off. I can then whitelist or add any application that's on my device and say, okay, I'll shut down the other 89, but I will leave on, for example, maybe I'll leave on Google+. It's done, and that application then runs in standby in the background.
Okay.
So it really helps me as a consumer manage my battery power, but in a sensible way. It turns stuff off when you don't need it. I can manage it, and it's at least 4 times more standby time it generates as a result.
So the estimate that it gives you, is that based on which apps are in the whitelist?
Yeah, and it's based on your usage as well.
Okay.
This device I opened this morning, so it's not really used to my usage. So, but the estimate it'll give you will also be based on the whitelisted apps.
Okay.
It won't actually show it here because the device hasn't been running for long enough, but it will give you, if we go back, it will give you a clear estimate.
An adjustment, so it'll adjust that figure
Correct.
depending on... Okay.
Correct. Exactly. Let's talk a little bit about the camera now. As I said, 13 megapixel camera to the rear, 2 megapixels to the front. It has the XMOR RS for mobile sensor, which is the first sensor in a smartphone to bring you HDR for video. HDR stills you guys are pretty familiar with. Oops. You've seen before. This now brings us HDR for video. The other thing that it brings us, you see a very clear UI here, not cluttered, video button, camera button. Here in the top left-hand corner, you may recognize this symbol from our digital imaging devices. This is called Xperia Auto. And what it does, again, is try and help you as a photographer take your best possible pictures by adjusting to the best possible settings. So to give you an example, if I move my hand in the background there, you can see a little icon of a running man is appearing just to the right there. That's because the camera's noticing there's movement, so it's adjusting the settings accordingly. If I take it away, it's gone. If I just drop the phone flat on the table, you're going to see a low light imaging coming up. So it's adjusting to the scenarios to try and take the best possible picture. Because I'm not holding it, you also see a tripod type thing come up, so it knows the camera's static. So it's automatically adjusting the settings. The other interesting thing in the camera I'll show you is burst mode. So burst mode is not necessarily new, you've seen it elsewhere. For our burst mode, we take 10 frames per second with a 9 megapixel camera, so that's a higher level of capability than elsewhere. And also, you can go on forever or until your battery fills up. So if I hold this button here, it just carries on, and on, and on, and on, and on. See how far I can go. We're up to 81 we ended up on. So that's the camera capability. It's all about, as it was with the screen and elsewhere, taking Sony's capability and bringing it more strongly into the smartphone.
Okay.
The last thing I wanted to talk about is connectivity. So we know, and you guys know, saying consumers like the idea of connecting all of their devices together. We're sitting here now, so the best screen for me to show you a movie or video is that TV. But people think it's going to be complicated. How do I connect things together? So our solution is to use NFC as an enabler. NFC is the thing that we've chosen to connect devices together. And we have the strongest portfolio of devices with NFC chips in to connect them together. So tonight, as well as announcing this smartphone, we'll announce 5 TVs which have an NFC chip in the remote control. That means I simply tap with one touch my smartphone against the remote control. NFC acts as an enabler. The bearer of the content is Wi-Fi Direct, and whatever is on your smartphone screen is then mirrored on your TV. So no cables, no setups, it's just enabled by the NFC connectivity. That's one-touch mirroring to show on the screen. We have a lot of one-touch listening solutions. I showed you one a little bit earlier, that if I'm listening to music on my smartphone, this is our Mini2Go NFC-enabled speaker. I simply tap the smartphone with one touch on the top. It connects to the speaker and transfers the music automatically. So we have an NFC speaker, NFC headset that is enabling this connectivity. It's our choice that we think easy NFC is the way to connect. So again, just simply tap on the top and take the music back.
Right.
Pretty easy to do.
Brilliant.
So that was a quick whistle-stop tour of Xperia Z. So premium smartphone specifications, the quad-core, the right version of the Android platform, the full HD screen, but bringing in the very best of Sony. Screen technology with the mobile Bravia engine, so you get the sharpest, brightest pictures. Battery stamina mode, so you can manage your battery to deliver outstanding battery performance. Camera capability with the new sensor for low light imaging, whatever the conditions, the sharpest pictures, and the fastest, easy way to connect with NFC. And we think with that we have a really strong and interesting story for consumers in the marketplace, plus security of the water resistance.
Brilliant.
What do you guys think?
Would you like your phone to last longer? We thought you'd turn the lights off when you leave home. It's dark inside the fridge when the door's closed. Why? To save power. So our engineers here at Sony thought, why not apply the same energy-saving way of thinking to smartphones? They created battery stamina mode. It turns off functions you don't need when your phone is in standby mode, but lets you keep things you want. You still receive calls, texts, and alarms, and you can easily choose which apps you want to keep running. The second you want to use your phone and you wake it up from standby mode, all functions are working normally again. Battery stamina mode improves your standby time by 4 times or more. Xperia Z. Experience the best of Sony in a smartphone.